Hello everyone, my name is Anjali Nair and I'm an FY PGDM student of batch 2022 at Vivekanand Education Society's Business School. Today we have with us an industry stalwart holding rich cross-functional business experience of over 18 years. She is the Vice President of Marketing Growth and Strategy at Shalimar Paints. In her role, she is instrumental in accelerating growth and enhancing brand equity for India's oldest paint brand business, a change leader who has played an important role in the turnaround of product portfolios, brands, and businesses, and holds extensive expertise in a wide range of marketing skills. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Ms. Minal Srivastav. Thank you, ma'am, for allowing us to interview you and agreeing to give us more insights into your professional journey and the corporate world.
Thanks, Anjali. It's lovely to be here. And that was a pretty heavy introduction, but thanks so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So starting with the first question, could you please walk us through your professional journey and enlighten us on some of the challenges that you have faced throughout your career?
Okay. So I don't know how to answer this briefly. I have around 18 years of experience, and a lot of people um, have asked me in the past, did you plan to be here? Did you really envision that this is what or where you'll end up? Honestly, when we were your age, we didn't have so much of information in our hands. Okay, so what I keep telling people is no. I just took the next step, and then the next, and then the next opened up. Right. So, like everybody else, every young kid, I was confused on what I wanted to do. I just did know that I did not want to end up in a small town where I grew up, and the sort of lives that I saw of people and women around me.
Mm.
So at every point in time in my life, at least, I've always been pretty sure of what I don't want. Okay. And
Yeah.
then what I want comes to me, and then slowly and steadily, one thing leads to the other. So after school, I came to Delhi for my graduation, and post that, I was figuring out what to do. I did not want a regular MBA. I didn't again visualize myself as a engineer or a regular MBA person. Uh, in that confused state is when Micah happened to me, which is a communication school, one of the premier communication schools
Of course,
in the
ma'am.
country,
Yeah.
and I think it fitted me well, because I thought, when you're young, you just have a perception of what you are. You really don't know, because there isn't much introspection that has gone in. So I thought I had something of a creative streak, but I also needed business with it, analytics with it. But pure analytics would have bored me.
Right.
And what I knew of myself at that point in time, I did know that I get bored very easily, which has stayed true even now. So, but yeah, with age, you learn to develop and inculcate habits, which makes you stick to something longer. So I think Micah worked well for me, for the sort of person that I am. And post that, then I started working with brands, multiple brands across different cities, across different geographies all over the globe.
Okay.
Um, and slowly and steadily, I got exposure to big the structure that they follow. And I think post 18, 19 years, this is where I've ended up. I'm working for a paints brand now, one of the oldest paints brand in the country,
Yes, ma'am.
which has gone through a bad patch on brand and advertising and imagery is one part of it. And I think that happens post your business starts stabilizing. Elements to the business, what you see, and I think what many young kids that I've mentored in the past are excited about is that it's a glamorous role. There's so much of fun involved in it, and it sounds creative, and it is, it keeps changing, which all of it is true, right?
Mm.
But honestly, there's a strong analytics to whatever you do, and hence, yes, it is creative, and hence, yes, it is fun. But in life, nothing is fun forever, so yeah, some
True.
bits and pieces of it is fun, but then you have to find your you have to create your projects. You have to create a sense of you know belonging to what you're doing, and then probably you start enjoying what you're doing much more. So yes, it's an interesting field, and I started off as a media person, then creative person, then brand, then B2B, then distribution. So yeah, interesting journey as of now. I don't know whether I answered your question
Ma'am,
correctly,
you
but
did
you can keep.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ma'am, so you have had, bits and like you've been involved in all the activities that involves marketing, like you just mentioned, distribution, everything, every aspect of it. And obviously, we
Yeah.
keep in mind that what not to do in case we are not able to decide. So that was a good, input by you. So, ma'am, coming to my next question, various hurdles that you faced in your professional life, what and the current challenges that is hitting the industry. What do you think is the ideal set of skills that a B school student should have, according to you?
Okay, so multiple questions in one. I'll tackle it one by one. So, first and foremost, the challenges or hurdles that I faced. Honestly, for me, and I see it in a lot of young people even now, the biggest challenge at any point in time will be yourself. And how much are you limiting yourself to what you think you can do, or what you think is right for you, what you think suits your format of life, right? So I think and I can say this with confidence only after 20 years of living it, right? But I think at every stage that I've faced in my life, my biggest challenge has been to convince myself first
Mm-hmm.
that you can do it or it is right for you.
Right.
Just to give you an example, in the middle of my career, when I was a new mother, I was thrown into a new role, which involved a lot of traveling, which involved a distributor, dealer, ending sort of a role, which I'd never done in my life.
Yeah.
And I thought I wasn't fit for it. And I thought I was a young mother and I had so many more responsibilities. And women, when they come back from a maternity break with a 3 month or 2 month old baby, they don't do this. I was like, no, I can't do it.
Right.
This
Right.
is just not possible. But I think, when you convince yourself, I did do it. I did take it up. I did travel all the entire world, and the next few years were pretty challenging operationally, yes, but it grew me as a person. It challenged me as a person immensely, and I think that phase gave me the grounding for what happened later to a very large extent, because that if you've handled that, when you've handled that sort of chaos and that sort of extreme pressure, both from a personal as well as a professional front,
Right.
then you're confident on yourself. So that has been, but yes, it needed my mind needed a lot of cajoling, it needed a lot of talking to, it needed a lot of convincing almost every single day. So and many things happened. When you have so many balls in the air, some will fall. There will be moments, there will be days, there will be months, in fact, when you will question your decision, when you will think maybe this is not right for you, when you will when you will really feel like giving everything up. But then you, again, like I said, then you just look at the next day and you look at the next step and carry on. So that's part one. Part two, from what I remember, I think you were asking that what sort of skills is the
Yes, ma'am.
industry looking for currently, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know whether I'm equipped enough to be the spokesperson for the industry per se as a whole, but I can tell you what I look for. And I work with a very diverse young sort of team. So, there are two parts to it. One is skill. So when you are looking at somebody, and a fresher is okay, but when somebody has had a little bit of experience, so one part that you're looking at is skill, and the other thing, and for me, which is more important, is the attitude, right?
Right.
Because if you have the willingness to learn, and if you are curious enough, you can learn anything. And honestly, the way the world is changing and the way the industry is changing, nothing stays constant. So honestly, even I cannot sit on my, saying that, okay, I have 20 years of experience and I know enough, and hello, I know more than you. It doesn't work like
Mhm.
that, because there are some areas in which you, being from a different generation, will come with a different perspective, will have a different viewpoint, and probably open my mind to things that I'm closed to, right? So what
Right.
you just need, and I think in today's day and age it's more relevant and more critical, is just the way you are as a person. You need to keep working on it. You don't have to be the sort of person who gets comfortable with one particular thing. You always need to challenge yourself and go to the next, go to the next. And the only thing that I look for in a person is honestly the willingness to raise hands. Are you willing to raise hands when something comes up? Are you willing to take up a project which is way beyond your league, but you still
Mhm.
raise your hand? Yes, the project might have its problems, and yes, you will struggle, but are you taking that first step to at least raise your hand? And then, the skill part comes in. And yes, the skill part is easier to fill up, because there are ways in which you can teach, there are ways in which you can learn. But if you're not even mentally prepared to do that first step, then you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true, ma'am. Thank you for that, ma'am. And in fact, you just mentioned your son. I have noticed so many posts on LinkedIn where you are learning something from him. And what you spoke about, it's not about the age, right? You keep learning something. That's true. Totally agree with
Yeah,
you
well,
on that.
trust me, that motherhood has been a huge learning phase for
Right,
me, and I had never thought that, when you were younger, you or at least the society and the people around you make you feel that once you
right.
become a mother, your career is over. You cannot invest as much of yourself in your job. In fact, for me, it's worked vice versa,
Mhm.
because I want to have a certain part of my personality which goes out there, and is constantly in that space where I'm mentally challenged and I'm mentally alert, because I need to come back to somebody who's probably moving at a pace 10 times faster than me. The way he's
Right,
learning, the way he's,
right,
equipping around, equipping himself for the world around himself. So I
right.
need to be aware. And I think that's where, this, constant debate and constant question that I keep getting is, how do you balance it out? And I was like, there is no balance. I just know that it's a choice, and I have taken that choice. So essentially what you'll do is, once you realize, and that's the one thing, in life, if you always tell yourself, I am doing this because it's my choice, nobody's forcing me to do it, that's where the beauty of that experience comes in.
Confidence.
So a lot of times, you get into that victim mentality, that okay, my boss is pushing me to do this, okay, my parents have forced me to, take up this course, oh, I'm doing this because, I did not get enough marks, and hence I am
Mhm.
forced to do this. But that's not true, and because there are so many options in life, you always have a choice, always. So, whatever you're doing because you as a person have at that point in time agreed to do that, because it fits your life. you know Going forward, maybe 10 years down the line, it might not, but in that particular moment, it has fitted your life, and hence you said yes to it. So you live it with that conviction that I'm doing it because it's my choice. So working, honestly, I've started really enjoying the moment I told myself that I'm doing it because it's my choice, nobody is forcing me to do it. There
Right.
are many ways to live your life, and I could pick up anything. And after that, work becomes easier, and it becomes a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, there's a learning for us, obviously, because it is your choice, right? Yeah. So thanks, ma'am. Thank you for that. Ma'am, you have been in leadership roles for over 8 years, right? And so, like, can you tell us more about leadership in this VUCA world that we are in? So,
Okay, which part do you want to listen to?
ma'am, just the leadership
um,
part, like, how do you do it? 8 years in
okay,
leadership roles,
okay.
yeah.
So again, it's a very wide topic. Let me try and structure my thoughts a bit on this. See, when you again talk of leadership, uh, what does a leader do? You have a task, and you're supposed to, for a business, essentially,
Mhm.
if you're working honestly, you're running a business, and for that business, there are list of tasks that you need to finish off, and you have a set of people who need to move with you at the same pace that you're moving to finish the task. So essentially, you are leading a set of people towards a common goal, right? Now, when you do that, and a lot of times, people underestimate the challenges of being a leader, because when you're young, you feel, oh, being a boss is so easy. You just ask people to get work done. For me personally, and I do know a lot of people, my peers, they've struggled so badly with it, because, being a single contributor, you're given a task and you finish the task to the best of your ability, right? The moment you step up to the next role, your performance is dependent on how well can you motivate. First and foremost, how well can you convince yourself that this is my task, right? And this is my vision, and I'm going towards that vision, because it's not about day-to-day tasks. It's about a larger vision, or a larger piece of you know uh, how do I define it? Something which is not clear. Task is something which is clear day by day, but a vision is something that you just have in your head, and you have to convince a lot of people that, hey, this is it. The product is not ready. The business, and a lot of times you don't have all the answers as well as a leader, right? But the biggest challenge is to convince a lot of people that this is it, and come on, now let's move towards it. And then you break it down into tasks, right? So the vision then gets broken down into achievable tasks. That is the easy part. The difficult part is that motivating and convincing a set of people on something that which is not clear. Nobody has any clue, honestly. When you are that position, yes, you have data, yes, you have a roadmap, okay, but the way the world is moving, and honestly, the way 2020 turned out, before 2020, I remember we used to make so many presentations, 5 years, 2020, and strategy documents, and this is how technology will move, and this is what will happen in 2020. What happened in 2020?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's so all those did not stand true, because one variable came in which changed everything that you had on your plate. Okay.
Right.
So similarly, in a business, that's what happens. You start planning towards it, but there are many things that happen which we might change. So you have to adapt, you have to move quickly, and you have to do things which sometimes might not even sound right to a certain section of people, because you can't make everybody happy at all points in time. So there will be a certain section which might not be happy with the decisions that you're taking. So again, the challenge is to get everybody on the wagon again and keep moving. So the challenge has been that how do you motivate? And for me, again, how comes from a very basic principle of and a lot of times the way the leadership is defined, I feel it's a little broken, because the quality that I'm saying, a lot of times you do not hear it often in boardrooms and meeting rooms. But for me, it has stood the test of time, and I think it will in the uh, coming future, is the fact about how empathetic you are as a person. How do you relate to the other human being? Because trust me, what is leadership? It's about connecting with people, and in a very basic sense, what is it? It's connecting with human beings, human beings who are more diverse than you, maybe coming from different backgrounds, with different sort of mental baggages, with different experiences. So you need to understand where they're coming from, and then convince them to do something that you believe in they don't believe in, right? So you have to make them believe in that, and then move forward. So I think the biggest trait that you need to develop as a person is, can I put myself in somebody else's shoe and understand what he's going through, and then probably work on it. So but it's a challenge again. It's very easy to say it, but when it, like I said, vision is one thing, but when you break it down into tasks, every day becomes a challenge, because there are certain deliverables that you have to meet. And how do you play empathy versus deadlines all the time, and how do you, so it's a tricky balance. But I think if consciously you keep talking to yourself, it uh, uh, I think you, as a person, you absorb it, and probably your actions then become more aligned. Sorry, a
Wow,
very
ma'am.
big answer, but I hope
No, no.
I
Ma'am,
tackled it.
thoroughly.
It's a little
Yeah.
difficult to explain leadership, but in a very basic sense, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's, for me at least, that's what
And
matters.
ma'am, you put it through so beautifully. It was really good. I mean, I was loving it listening to you talking about it.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
ma'am, just coming to a like the so are there any extra certifications that you would recommend for like B school students?
So, see, knowledge or learning is not something that you will end the moment you graduate, right?
Right.
It's a perennial process, and be prepared that that's what you'll have to do forever. Even for me, for example, there's so many things on digital that I might not know of, so I have to make a conscious effort to be on top of it, you know So yes, there are either, if you're working, it becomes easier because you're doing and then you're learning in the thick of things. You there, right? So you're absorbing things that are happening around you. But yeah, if you're out of it, if you're like a student and you not do not have exposure to like a big setup where you can get you can learn, I think yes, certifications do help, but again it depends on which area you working towards, how fast that area has changed in the past. What sort of profile are you looking at, and in that profile what sort of certification will fit you.
Mhm.
So don't go just by the certificates. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Even the college doesn't matter after a point in time, and I know a lot of kids get depressed that they didn't get through IIMs and IITs or whatever. But trust me, in a few years, nothing matters. What matters is you as a person, and then life is cyclical in the sense that yes, maybe you've not got through IIM, whatever, but you will make up, and maybe that's not your path, so there maybe there's something prettier and beautiful waiting for you beyond that. And that's and I've seen it many times, so you think that this is what is needed and this certificate will help you get that, but just look at it from, will it help you learn, and I keep telling you know I've had this session earlier with a lot of women leaders, and they were asking me that how can I take up a project that I don't know anything about. You keep telling us that raise your hand, but I do raise my hand and I fail, so what? So I said, you are raising your hand, you telling yourself that I'm raising my hand because I want to succeed. I want you to just switch that a little bit. You're not raising your hand because you want to succeed. You're raising your hand because you want to learn, and
Right.
that's a very big difference. Because whenever you raise your hand or whenever you look at, these courses or certifications, you're looking at this certification I get on my resume, and then, maybe I get a better job or a better paycheck, whatever. Don't look at it like that, because that paycheck or a better job is not defined by that one thing. Okay, but what it is defined by is your attitude and ability to keep learning. So, and hence certification is one part of it. Even when you get into a regular job, there will be times when you might fail. So just look at it as that, okay, I failed, but I learned, and then I will not make that mistake again. Hopefully, you might
Yeah.
still make that mistake again, but you just tell yourself, but I had a good experience. I had fun while I did it. I met people
Right.
that probably helped me in my growth. I pushed myself beyond my frontier. So that matters the most. So like that phase that I was telling to you about, when I joined work with a 2-month baby, and I was pushed into a role which was completely beyond my scope or something that I could handle. And I went through hell. In hindsight, when I tell you, I did go through hell. But the thing is, did it help me grow? Yes. So in that moment when you are there, probably you will realize that no, and you will feel miserable and you will pity yourself for a while, then pull yourself out. You say, you cry, you rub you bang your head against the wall, whatever you do, whatever makes you better. Watch a crying movie with a, popcorn or whatever, cry a night out, and then the next day get up and get moving. That's it. So don't try and not fall into that pity me mode, because
Right.
again, it's your choice. You're doing it because you've chosen to do this, right? If you are really that unhappy, then please break it up. And
Right.
that's again the one question that I keep getting asked is, why did I leave Apple? And I have a very simple question to answer to that: because I was unhappy and because I was not learning. Very two simple parameters for myself as a person, which was very critical. And
Right.
that's it. It does not matter if it's the best brand in the world to work for. It does not matter if it was walking distance from my home. It does not matter if I was in the safest job in the world. That particular moment and that particular place was not making me happy, and I choose not to spend my time in anything which A does not help me in my growth as a person, and B is making me miserable. And hence all your decisions, if you take just these two parameters, and if you take these decisions basis these two parameters, your life will become very simple. Because at every point in time, life is nothing but a set of decisions that you have to take, right?
Right.
So if you just clear your decisions through these two lens, your decision taking will become easier, and it'll help you grow in your career faster.
Right, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that, ma'am. So, ma'am, the sudden pandemic has instilled a fear among students regarding placements and everything, right? And the hiring process. So, how do you think COVID has affected the recruitment, and what will be the effect in the future?
Oh, yeah. I honestly, you guys are going through a tough time. I will not underestimate that. It's really, really, because I know what it feels that all your life you've been working towards it, that, hey, I clear this, then I start my next phase of life, which is
Yeah,
essentially independence. You start a job, you finally are earning money for yourself. So, yes, I honestly feel that if this year has been tough, it's been toughest for kids like you, who are about to graduate and have no clue on what are you stepping into. But it's okay. World is unfair. Life is unfair. So
yes,
just
ma'am.
again take it in your stride and move forward. What I can tell you, and this is a few hopeful words, is that through whatever sheer streak of luck, we Indians have been lucky, through this pandemic. So
Mhm.
whatever happened in 2020, 2021 is turning out to be much positive. And I
Better,
can tell
yeah.
you about the business that I lead. I can tell you about the category that I am in. And plus, from what I hear from my peers and counterparts, business is picking up. Yes, 2020 was a very tough year for all the businesses and specifically for small businesses which did not have enough cash flow to survive a year. So, yes, jobs got lost. Yes, we did lose on salary as well to a certain extent, but that's past, and I think 2021 looks much better than what the past year has been. Hiring has restarted. Um, but again, a piece of advice, a lot of times, businesses or even hiring managers will try and push you to take up something which might be below your standard or benchmark on what you
Mhm.
expect, citing that okay, 2020 was bad and hence there is, and then obviously there's so much of talent in the market, and yeah, you competing with so much and there's dearth of jobs. So I would say, do not be too desperate to pitch yourself too low,
Yeah,
right? Because yes, it was bad, but it's past, right? And things are opening up, businesses are picking up, jobs will happen. So be a little assertive and aggressive in your both in your search, and even when the search happens and finishes with something, even in asking for what you want, right? Because
yeah,
don't let 2020 really scare you and underpitch yourself in this year, because I don't know when are you guys graduating, but in a few months we'll have a much clearer and better picture, and hence you should definitely not undersell yourself is what I would tell you to. And again, like I said, go for, if you have to choose, go for exposure and learning rather than again the monetary piece of it. So look for the sort of category that you want for, look for the sort of manager that you want to work with. That'll be
yeah.
the more critical piece, and then um, it's very early, right? Everything will change, don't
Yes,
worry.
ma'am.
Will go off and you will have and honestly, when you look back, you will realize what was it. And we also went through a uh, bad phase because the
Right.
recession, when we were graduating, recession had hit. So I know exactly what you guys are going through,
Yes,
but again, it's just a blip in your life, and I know it's scarier because you haven't yet started, but you will manage. There's nothing
ma'am.
that you can't manage.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such motivating words, really. Um, Thank you, ma'am, for taking out the time from your busy schedule to interact with us and giving a sneak peek into your professional world. Really, some of the statements that you said, that can be like a tag on our YouTube channel for just the open.
You're thinking like a marketing person here now, yeah? Already thinking of taglines and
Yes, ma'am,
good.
because some of it was so impressive and so motivating. Really, thank you for this substantial and noteworthy insights. I'm sure we learn a lot
Thanks,
from you
Anjali.
further. Yes, ma'am. Really had so much fun talking to you. It was really good to know you. I was looking forward to this conversation, and it was just worth it.
Thanks so much,
Thank you, ma'am.
Anjali.
Thank you for taking out the time. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Take care.